Pasi, your partner at ICECAPITAL. What is ICECAPITAL? I understand it's some kind of advisory firm that works with investment banking problems.
Yeah, ICECAPITAL Group was established more than 20 years ago. We just celebrated our 20th anniversary last year.
Congrats.
Yeah. Nowadays we have two different businesses: corporate finance, where I work for, which is our parent company, and then we have what we call a private equity, which mainly has a housing funds worth of currently above 1 billion euros.
Okay.
So we have rental flats.
Okay.
So with corporate finance, where I work for, we serve clients generally from the very smallest ones, entrepreneur, global corporations, and anything between. Merchant acquisitions or financing arrangements, they vary. The EV or the transaction values vary from the 10 million euros to, well, 4 to 5 billion euros, especially those largest. You know, companies like Elenia and Caruna, and that's pretty much what we do.
You help to analyze whether current project, current merger is profitable or not, for example.
Yes. Well, you don't do it if it's not profitable, right?
Sure.
You don't want to make a bad decision. You don't want to make a bad transaction. So basically, in merchant acquisitions, which is the majority of what we do, of course, you evaluate the transaction, whether it's profitable for stakeholders, mainly shareholders. And then in financing, it's more detailed analysis, because what you do is you try to rearrange the balance sheet to make it as optimized as possible.
I understand the projects are very, very different, but on average, I guess, how long does it take to conduct this analysis, and how many people are working simultaneously on that?
Yeah, well, luckily, let's make a sell-side arrangement, right? We have a client, whether it's a publicly listed corporation or a entrepreneur-driven smaller company or non-listed. They want to sell themselves as a whole or part of their business. Basically, it takes 4 to 6 months from the very preparations, analysis, making all sorts of models and valuation decision materials for internal use, and then publishing, for example, what we call IM, the main sales material, and all sorts of the other public material that needs to be prepared and spread all over the potential buyer candidates. And then we get the offers for the whole company or for the part of the company, and then we evaluate them, and then the decision has been made whether whether the owner wants to sell it or not. And it's an auction process usually. Usually nowadays there's more one-on-one discussions because the times has changed, but mostly you get the best price and the most attractive transaction structure when you make an auction. And then let's say from 4 to 6 months you carry over that process, and then hopefully all are happy. We are happy as an advisor, and the companies or the owners are happy because they have
the transaction.
Hopefully a lot of money which they can use and then whatever they want to do. So 4 to 6 months, luckily, not longer. That's pretty much what it takes.
Okay, and the analysis part itself, how many iterations are there?
Yeah, it starts from the very beginning as an internal analysis, and won't last until the transaction is over. Of course, it has a different sort of emphasis. First, we make sort of rough guesstimates what would be the price for the part of the business or for the whole company. All sorts of the analysis. Mainly, it relies on the DCF.
Okay, discounted cash flows.
Yeah, and partly it relies on past transactions that has happened in that industry. And then if and they usually are also publicly listed companies from that sector or segment, then we can sort of see what other companies are worth of and how other investors are seeing them, or what's the risks and what's the value in those. So that's a combination, but I would say the most important is the DCF analysis.
DCF, okay.
Yeah, and it's more detailed as well.
Yeah. Do you do there any sensitivity analysis, scenario analysis, anything to feel that?
All the time,
Okay.
but it is also quite simple.
Mm-hmm.
We consider different kind of revenues, different kind of OPEX levels, different kind of risks. So let's for example, the weighted average cost of capital, WACC.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's that? What's the industry level for that particular industry? And that the risk part is mainly so that the percentage that we use for discounting.
Okay.
Risk as a rough level, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed that I went through some old material and sensitivity analysis. Basically, they are sort of bi-directional. So there's two dimensions only. Let's say there's exit values that we, for example, consider, and then there might be a revenue level or the revenue growth or a WACC percentage or so. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very simple. But mm-hmm. then again, we may have 10 of those, but we have sort of 10 different graphs.
Yep.
So, but it's a decision maker for people who does not want to have way too detailed or way too complicated material. They want mm-hmm. to see simple things, and they want to make a decision based on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you use Monte Carlo simulation?
We as a company, so far we haven't, no.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine it must be quite hard already to perceive for decision makers who are not involved in all this analytics.
Yeah, banking industry or investment banking industry is very conservative, and I have to say that some of our clients, whether they're CEOs or CFOs in a large organization or entrepreneurs, they are conservatives. And they're also very busy. Mm-hmm. And if and when they are familiar with some decision-making material, let's say they want to see one particular value or they want to see one particular angle on that issue / problem, we want to serve them with the material that they are familiar with. We could do all over we could do whatsoever because the analysts and associates and all my colleagues are very clever. They have beautiful skills in financing and in Excel. So mm-hmm. It's not that we wouldn't do it. It's the clients that usually are not ready to analyze that material.
Sure. So your main tool software is Excel.
Yes.
Yes.
And PowerPoint.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, so very simple. So it's Excel, blank Excel that we start with usually, and then a blank PowerPoint that we use as a supporting tool for that. Yeah.
Simple but powerful.
Yeah, hopefully so. Well, we've been working with that sort of approach for past 20 years. Mm-hmm. And we've succeeded. We don't have any links to any banks nor institutions or any other more than others. So the clients have been happy to work with us, and we're glad that it is so as it is. But I have to say that for all those tools, they've been around for 20 years and they haven't really sort of developed since millennium, for example.
Mm-hmm. So, Pasi, you are a partner at the company, so it's a top of hierarchy.
It's not the top of anything. I'm one of the colleagues. This company, for example, there's 5 of us that sort of carry the risk of making a profitable year after year. But all the other colleagues, let's say analysts, associate directors, etc., they are also part of team and very, very valuable.
But you all in part of the company, right?
Yeah. a very minor percentage, but yes, I own part of the company, and there's 5 of us that owns this parent company, and then a few others that own a part of the subsidiaries, like private equity part in here in Helsinki, and then we also have a corporate finance function in Stockholm, where we have a few partners that own that business.
Mm-hmm. How about analysts, the very bottom of the company, but also the main driving force? Who are those people? Where do you take them? What do you expect from them? And how to become one?
Well, that very bottom, that's not the case. I would say that the youngest ones, not the bottom one, but the youngest ones, as valuable as all the others, of course. We recruit people straight from the universities, and often and mostly, but in some cases we have also recruited people not from the competitors, not from the competitors, but from the industry. So I have colleagues that have worked for Neste or Fortum or some other big companies. But mainly we have recruited talented young people from the universities, where they have studied financing as the major, or industrial engineering and management perhaps, and then in some cases energy or electricity or some other more specific. But mainly people with a background related to financing or energy. Yeah, for example, my background is I'm my master or my major was industrial engineering and management. I studied for international marketing, which I haven't done for past 25 years, and then minor courses in energy. That's
nice
my
combination.
Background. Yeah.
And of course, analytical skills and ability to use analytical tools is, I guess, the major requirement.
Yeah, well, that is true. It is a must that you need to be very, very fluent in Excel.
Yep.
But on top of that, you need to know the industry or the financing thoroughly. In industry, we mainly emphasize on infrastructure, or energy sectors, and in some cases TMT, telecom, media, technology. Those are sort of the 3 or 4 industries that we are so far we've been very successful with our clients. But on top of those Excel skills and those financing/energy sector skills, you need to be open, you need to be honest, you need to be cooperative, because that's what we are. And those are the values that we emphasize a lot. And I have to say that we've been very happy, because, for example, let's check 2 of my colleagues that have been with us since, one of them were recruited straight from the school, had worked with us for 2 internship summers, and since then he's been here. So Anssi has been with us for past 13 years. And another colleague nowadays, director Emeli, I think he's been with us for 11 or 12 years.
Okay.
So they also
quite a team.
Yeah, I mean, they also like what I said about being open, being honest, being in a way independent, but then again cooperative in a way that we open everything, we share everything, and so and it works with some guys or girls, but with some others it does not. So recruiting talented people is very crucial for us. And that shows that we've succeeded with at least with 2 cases. But like I said, there's 30 or so us in total in corporate finance functions in Helsinki.
I can imagine with this set of values, it's quite a culture in your company, and it's pleasure working there. That's why people stay and people are happy.
Yeah, like I said, if you sort of really feel, not just sort of say that those are important, but if you really feel that those are important, then it gives you the flexibility. You come and go, because there's no sort of is it a clockwork? We don't count how much somebody is spending time here or home, and we don't count how much somebody is spending time on their holidays. As long as our clients are happy, we are happy, and as things just move on. So
that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's these guys are talented, or the girls, they are talented, and we rely on them. They rely on us. So whatever you work, it does not make any difference. Actually, what we say quite often is that please try to remember to take some time off, because you need to be your boss and remember to take your time off. We are not able to see when you are too tired
or close to burnout.
Yeah,
yes.
You need to feel it yourself and take a week off or take 2 days off or whatever. I mean, and just give us a notice that you are sort of absent for a while. And fine. Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
If and when projects are in a situation that you can do that, but if not, then you sort of push the project to the end and then take your time off. As long as you take your time off and you make sure that you are full of energy all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, Pasi, one last question, the most critical one. Why ICECAPITAL? What's the meaning of it? Why ICE?
Oh, you mean the word?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, it's just 20 years or so, these founders, they were sort of playing around with the name, because we are we were a corporate finance boutique, a small one, and we wanted to differentiate ourselves from some other players. And ICE just popped up as a sort of it relates to a northern part of Europe, and clearness.
Yep.
It doesn't have anything to do with ice hockey or ice or ice itself. But if you want to say it's the northern hemisphere corporate finance.
Okay.
That's what it is. It starts to have some sort of a legacy already. Yeah. That I have to admit. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Crystal clear analysis for your decision making. Something like that.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, Pasi, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I'm sure it will be very interesting and useful for our students. Thank you.
So. And like I said, that we're happy to receive all CVs and some other approach if there are some people that are considering working as an intern or as a full-time for us. It's our email address is always open.
Okay, and even in case you don't have open positions, it's okay to write to you and offer.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think that the thing is that we always are recruiting talented people, even though we don't publish an open recruit ad anywhere. So sure, why not?
That's clear. Okay.
All the best. Hopefully you have a good spring that is coming eventually, and hopefully you have a good educational sessions with your colleagues and your students.
Thank you. We are working on that. Have a nice spring too.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.